2 for What It's Worth, the show that puts your general knowledge through the ringer and your antiques expertise to the test. We've got 3 pairs of contestants who are ready to play, and each team has a quizzer who has to answer a general knowledge question correctly so that their partner, the picker, has a chance to choose an antique or collectible and build a collection. The aim of the game is to amass the most valuable collection. And joining me today in the studio is a man who sleeps, breathes and eats antiques. Let's hope he's already had his lunch. Would you please welcome our antiques expert, David Harper.
Well, that's the best introduction I've ever had.
Today.
Yeah.
David, what have we got for our contestants today?
I can tell you. OK, team, certainly. For your consideration today, we have a textile, a clock, a jar, an accordion, a jug, a ring, books, a coin, a box, a table, a vanity kit and a plaque.
Now, one of these items is our top lot, and it's worth a whopping £2,500. That is the lot to spot, teams, because at the end of the show, the winning pair will walk away with the cash equivalent of one of their items. But beware, because the lots decrease in value right down to our worthless lot, which is a tenner or less. That is the lot to avoid. So, who's playing today? Well, let's meet our teams. Team 1, who are you?
Hello, Fern. I'm Richard, and my teammate is my younger son, Tom.
Hi, Fern. I'm just hoping this experience will stop my dad from going on about his caddy spoons.
Caddy spoons? Well, we'll hear more about that later. Thank you. Team 2, who are you?
Hello, Fern. I'm Jane. I'm from Aberdeen, and this is my friend, Mel.
Hello, Fern. I'm also from Aberdeen. We live in a small village just outside, actually, and we're quite fond of quizzing.
Oh. Is that code for
It means they're very good at quizzes,
I think so. Welcome, girls. Team 3, who are you?
Hi, Fern. My name's Philip, and this is my wife, Elizabeth.
And we're puppy walkers for the Guides for the Blind Association, and we come from Loudwater in High Wycombe.
Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. Good luck, teams. Now, earlier, our teams got to inspect our lots, watched over by our expert, David. But could they separate the awfully good from the just plain awful? Let's see.
Eclectic collection today.
Oh, my.
What have we got in here?
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start over here with the jar.
Italian Maiolica.
Malolica? Is it?
Get a feeling about this one.
This business is about that. Tap into those emotional feelings.
1770, 1790.
Ah,
it's a
gaming table.
Straight in, no mucking about.
Celebrating the marriage of Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer.
It's got the maker's mark. Oh, it's Mappin and Webb, London.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, look at the box. It says Wapping and Webb.
Possibly in a limited edition.
Could be. It's got some typical Italianate ruins in the background. A little shepherd boy, no doubt. Loads of numbers, so it must have been from a run.
Ah, so you're saying it's a limited edition?
Native American. It's wool.
Woolen.
I think that's the one that's not worth anything.
Yeah, but it's terribly obviously looking like it's not worth a lot, don't you think?
Would we really entrap you?
Looks old, been stapled. It's been broken and the handle's been reattached.
The books I'm interested in.
Pope, Alexander Pope.
It depends
On the author
on what's inside them.
yeah.
It's Repousse work.
That's fully hallmarked again. No, it's that Chester.
You are too good, Richard.
I can't even read it. So
No.
It's old. That's Greek.
The earliest ones didn't have the piano keys,
So this is quite a late one, I would
I
think.
would think.
Good deductions there, you two.
Looks like the original leather straps and case.
Cameo?
I think that's Victorian.
It's very sweet. It's very small as well.
Tops are all initialed, but it's tarnished.
Oh, that's lovely. Silver.
Is it silver or plated? Have a good look.
So top lot, we're going for the
Yeah, I
jar.
think so. Yeah, jar or the clock, maybe.
The Maiolica pot.
Jug,
Clock.
clock,
Plaque.
And then bottom would be to what we think textiles
textiles
or
and
fancy.
the vanity kit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go for the jug.
I think the little glass jug will be my bottom one.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, but fair enough.
Okay. We beg to differ?
Yes, we will.
Oh, that must be so much fun listening to them as they go round.
Honestly, you really do miss out. There was some speed, there was dashing around, there's a bit of dawdling, there's lots of indecision, but there was a bit of passion in that room, Fern, as well. You would have loved it.
And how do you come to the valuation of these goods?
Well, very simply, the values teams are agreed between myself and another independent valuer, and they're based on the hammer price. That's the price something we expect to make in an auction, but not including the auction fees or costs.
Just to add an extra twist, we have our mystery lot. Now, it could be worth thousands, or it could be worth very little at all. That is for our winners to decide later. But for now, it's time for round 1. I'm going going to ask 8 general knowledge questions. Pickers, before each one, I'll ask you to select which lot you would like to play for. And quizzers, if you buzz in with the correct answer, you'll get to add it to your collection. But beware, if you buzz in incorrectly, you will be frozen out of the next question. So, pickers, please make your first pick. Let's see what you want. Tom and Richard have gone for the clock. Mel and Jane want the jar. Philip and Elizabeth want the plaque. Well, quizzers, fingers on buzzers, here's question number 1. Which English new wave band had worldwide hits with Lifeline and True? Yes, Philip?
Spandau Ballet.
Correct. Spandau Ballet. The plaque is yours. That started off your collection. Pickers, make a pick. Let's see what you want. Tom and Richard are going for the table. Mel and Jane want the ring. Philip and Elizabeth want the books. Question 2, quizzers. Poinsettia plants are particularly associated with which annual holiday? Yes, Philip?
Christmas.
Correct. The books are yours. Pickers, make a pick. Let's see what you want. Tom and Richard want the jar. Mel and Jane want the accordion. Philip and Elizabeth want the clock. Question 3, quizzers. In EastEnders, which actress plays Cat Moon? Out of time. Not EastEnders fans. It's Jessie Wallace. Jessie Wallace. Pickers, make a pick. Let's see what you want. Tom and Richard want the clock. Mel and Jane want the jar. And Philip and Elizabeth still want the clock. Question 4, quizzers. What name is given to the enclosed raised platform in a church from which a preacher delivers sermons? Yes, Tom?
Pulpit.
Pulpit is correct, and the clock is yours.
No, she wants.
Pickers, make a pick. Let's see what you want. Tom and Richard want the jar. Mel and Jane still want the accordion. Philip and Elizabeth also want the jar. OK, who's going to get it? Question 5. What was the first name of Daniel Day-Lewis's poet laureate father? Yes, Mel.
Cecil.
It is Cecil. Mel, the accordion is yours. Pickers, make a pick. Let's see what you want. Oh, you are all chasing the jar. Who's going to get it? Here's the question, quizzes. Which children's cartoon series features the character Angelica Pickles? Philip?
Peppa Pig.
Oh, bad luck. The answer is Rugrats. Philip and Elizabeth, you are now frozen out of the next question. Pickers, make a pick. Let's see what you want. Oh. The jar is hotly contested. Here we go. Question 7. Which dessert has a name derived from the French for white food? Yes, Mel?
Blancmange.
Blancmange is right. The jar is yours. Philip and Elizabeth, you're back in the game. Final question and final pick, please. Let's see what you want. Tom and Richard want the table. Mel and Jane want the box. Philip and Elizabeth want the ring. Which bicycle with a large front wheel takes its name from two... Yes, Mel?
Penny farthing.
Which bicycle with a large front wheel takes its name from 2 British coins? It is, of course, the penny and the farthing. Well done. Well, everybody's off the blocks. Let's have a look at your collections at the end of round 1. Tom and Richard have the clock. Mel and Jane have the accordion, the box, and the jar. Philip and Elizabeth have the plaque and the books. So, our teams have started to build their collections, but have they chosen wisely? Well, before they have the chance to add more of them, David is going to give each pair a fact about a lot of their choice, which should be everything they need to know to make a valuation. But let's find out some more about you. Tom?
I used to be heavily into karate.
Did you get right up to the black belt?
Not quite, unfortunately.
Poor thing. And this is the boy who grew up wanting to be Rambo, Richard?
Certainly did, yes. He had the outfit and a row of bullets around his chest, and he used to swing from the apple tree at the top of the garden.
Richard, what do you do?
I'm a minerals engineering consultant.
Oh, so looking for sort of kind of geology thing, is it?
My job is basically to increase the value of any mineral by removing the waste material from it.
Clever. So what do you collect?
I collect, as my son has already mentioned, I collect caddy spoons. I also collect 20th century Worcester porcelain painted by William Powell, who was one of the best Worcester artists for painting British songbirds.
It's lovely to have you both here, Tom and Richard. So which lot would you like to know more about?
I'd like to know more about the books, please.
The books are in Philip and Elizabeth's collection.
The books. Now, Alexander Pope was an 18th century English poet, best known for his satirical verse. So significant is his work that after Shakespeare, he is the second most quoted writer in the Oxford Dictionary of Quotations. This set of his works is made up of 6 volumes. Now, we don't think they're first editions, but they are in good condition considering their age. Now, the words within, guys, are priceless. But you've got to ask yourself, what value can we put on the books? It's over to you.
Tom and Richard, have a think about that. While we meet Mel and Jane, lovely to have you here. Mel, what do you do?
Well, I am partly retired. I worked for a long time in the oil and gas industry as a communications manager. I'm quite involved in a number of things externally, a couple of charitable boards. I'm also involved with the University of Aberdeen.
You are busy, and you also are a Burgess.
It's a very historic thing. It's the Burgesses of Guild, and it goes back to the reign of Alexander II in Scotland. In its time, it was about defending the citizens who defended the city. Now it's more to do with really promoting promoting the image, I guess, of the city. I hope I'm doing that now quite well, but we'll see.
It's very good. The Burgess indeed. What do you do, Jane?
I design and make stained glass windows.
And your interest in antiques came from your mum in the pub?
Some of her clientele didn't pay their bar bills, so she was paid in antiques.
Your mother must have had a heart of gold.
No, I just don't think she understood antiques.
Right, what lot would you like to know more about?
I'll just go for the ring, please.
The ring. OK, look at that. Now, you two, this lovely little item is a cameo ring, and the most popular cameos today are carved in seashells, just like that. Now, it is a tradition that began around the 15th century and was popularised by our very own Queen Victoria. Now, this ring is a 9-carat gold and is in good condition. Now, these are enduringly popular items of jewellery, and they have long-standing commercial value. So, you two, will this ring be making a cameo appearance in your lots today? It's over to you.
Well, they can have a little think about that. Well, we meet Philip and Elizabeth. And I love it that you did come from Windsor, so you like to call yourselves...
Elizabeth and Philip from Windsor.
Now, you're a man of many careers.
Yes.
Tell me what you've done.
When I first left school, I actually studied pathology. So I worked in a mortuary for about 7 years. I've run pubs and I've run restaurants and I've driven just about every type of vehicle you can think of to deliver things. And we puppy walk for the guide dogs.
Oh, how lovely. Have you got one at the moment?
Yes. Her name's Biscuit.
And Elizabeth, you obviously help with the guide dogs.
Yes.
How many have you looked after?
Biscuit's my 27th pup.
27th?
Yes.
Over how many years?
I've been doing it about 35 years.
How rewarding.
I love it. I really do.
Welcome, Philip and Elizabeth. What lot would you like to know more about?
I'd like to know more about the clock, please.
The clock. Wow. OK, you all showed interest in this one. This, guys, is a sterling silver urn in the form of a cylindrical clock, which comes presented in its original case. It was made by the renowned jewellers Mappin and Webb to commemorate, you all spotted it, the wedding of Prince Charles to Lady Diana Spencer in 1981, and it is part of a limited edition of 210 pieces. Now, this one is numbered 99, but what the astute valuer will be asking themselves today is this. How buoyant is the market for Charles and Diana memorabilia? Do people still want souvenirs of what became one of the world's most famously unhappy marriages? What's it worth?
OK, time to play round 2. In this round, the pickers will select a lot to play for, and the quizzers will again try and secure it by answering correctly. But this time around, the lots come with their own question categories, and here they are. So, for instance, if the picker picked the textile, the quizzer could have a choice of questions in categories about famous painters or British sitcoms. At the end of this round, the team with the least valuable collection will be eliminated, so choose very wisely. So, Richard, what would you like from the grid there?
I'm going to go for the table, please.
The table, US states or the opera, Tom?
I think it'll have to be US states, I
US
think.
states, OK, here we go. In which state would you find Plymouth Rock, the disembarkation point of the Mayflower?
New York?
Massachusetts. Massachusetts. So, sorry, you don't win the table. Mel and Jane. Jane, what would you like from the grid?
The ring, please.
The ring. Football or opera, Mel?
Well, it can't be football, so it's got to be opera.
Here we are. Which member of the band Blur composed the opera Monkey Journey to the West?
Alex James?
Oh, close, but it was Damon Albarn. Oh, Damon Albarn. Incorrect. The ring stays on the grid. Elizabeth, what would you like?
I think I'll go for the vanity kit, please.
The vanity kit. US states or definitions, Philip?
Definitions, please.
Definitions, here we go. Which Hebrew word meaning proper is used to describe food prepared according to Jewish law?
Kosher.
Kosher is correct. Well done. The vanity kit is yours. OK, you're doing quite well, but have you missed out on that one item you really wanted? Because if so, here's your chance to get your hands on it. From now on, you can either go for what's left on the grid, or you can steal a lot that's in a rival team's collection. But pickers, be warned, if you choose to steal from another team, they will get to choose which category your quizzer must face. And there's only one rule here. You cannot steal from a team who has only one lot in the collection. So, Tom and Richard, you're OK. And it's your turn first. Richard, do you want to pick from the grid or steal from a rival?
I'd like to steal the jar, please.
Steal the jar from Mel and Jane. Right, Mel, what category do you think Tom's going to have trouble answering?
Opera.
Opera. Let's see how you do with this one. Ready?
Fingers crossed.
The operatic soprano Dame Kiri Te Kanawa was born in which country?
New Zealand?
It was correct. Well done. The jar is going into your collection. Jane, would you want to pick or steal?
I'll pick the ring, please.
The ring. Football or opera, Mel?
Well, we may as well go for 3 in a row. Opera, please.
Opera. Which Italian city is home to the iconic opera house La Scala?
Rome.
Incorrect.
Milan.
It's Milan, yes. The ring's staying on the grid. Elizabeth, pick or steal?
I'd like to steal a jar, please.
Steal the jar. Tom and Richard, what category do you want to give Philip?
What do you think? Fashion or football?
Fashion.
Fashion, please.
Fashion. Philip, here we go. Popular in the 1960s, white plastic low-heeled boots are better known by what name?
No, I can't even think.
OK, you're passing?
Pass.
The answer is go-go boots. I'm so sorry, Philip and Elizabeth, you don't get the jar. Tom and Richard, well defended. Pick or steal?
I'll go for the ring, please.
The ring. Football or opera, Tom?
Football, please.
OK. Which Premier League football team plays their home games at the Britannia Stadium?
Oh, it's not them. It's not Portsmouth, is it?
It's not Portsmouth.
No.
Sorry. The correct answer is Stoke City.
Yeah, kick myself, haven't I?
Stoke City. That ring is sticking there on the grid. Jane, pick or steal?
Pick, please.
What would you like?
The ring.
Going for the ring again. Football or opera, Mel?
Oh, guess what?
Opera?
Yes, please.
Here we go. The Toreador song is from which Bizet opera?
Carmen.
Correct.
Hey.
There you go. The ring wants to come to you now. And there it is in your collection. Elizabeth, pick or steal?
I'd like to try for the table, please.
The table. US states or opera, Philip?
US states, please.
At 1,045 square miles, which is the smallest state in the US by area?
Rhode Island.
Correct. Well done. The table is yours.
Thank you.
Well, that is the end of the round, so let's see how the collections are looking. Tom and Richard now have the clock and the jar. Mel and Jane have the accordion, the ring and the box. Philip and Elizabeth have the plaque, the vanity kit, the table and the books. OK, for one team, it is now the end of the road. David has been keeping tabs, and the team with the least valuable collection will now be eliminated. So, David, who's leaving us first?
Oh, Fern, this is a terrible part for me. But teams, I can reveal that the pair leaving us first is... It's tough, but I'm sorry. It's Jane and Mel. So sorry, you two.
Mel and Jane, you've got 3 things in a very... looks a healthy collection there, but I'm so sorry, you are leaving the game, and before you go, you will want to know the value of the things that you have, won't you?
Oh, yeah.
David, you have the answers.
OK. This accordion tells you itself that it was made by Cesare Pancotti. This is one of the largest models the company made, and it has a lovely marble-like finish, which is actually really quite rare. It dates to around 1910 to 1920. It's still in perfectly playable condition, although nobody blinking well touched it, and it may well sound old-fashioned to the modern ear today. But, in general, it's in pretty good condition. So, where does that leave us when it comes to value? £200. Oh. Not much at all, actually. Quite surprising. Now, next up, Fern, we have this lovely little Edwardian silver box. Now, it's nicely detailed, featuring a beautiful image on the front of what appears to be 2 lovers. Likely used for jewellery or keepsakes, this box has certainly, like many things, seen better days. It's sterling silver and it's hallmarked in Chester. Now, Richard, you're the only person that picked up on that. What's it worth? £350 for that box, so well done. The ring. It's a classic example of its type, and I reckon when you hear how much it's worth, you'll all be sticking your hands in the pocket. Only £50. Remarkable. So giving you a total value of £600. Well done.
Mel and Jane, you've done so well. It's been a pleasure to have you here. I hope you've had a good time, but it's time to bring the hammer down on your collection, and thank you for playing for what it's worth. And also the unclaimed items in the grid are now leaving the game. So let's quickly find out from David what they are worth and if the top lot is still in the game. David.
OK, Fern, let's start off then with the textile. This is a Navajo textile dating from the 1940s. Now, the Navajo are the second largest Native American tribe. You two got that. Well done. It's been very well kept. It's in very good condition. A piece of real Native American history. Its value today, £400. It's gone. We're now going to look at a coin. Now, nobody picked up on this. Here we have a Richard II groat. This coin was minted sometime during Richard's reign from 1377 to 1399 in Tower Mint, London. Now, just take a good look at the shape of that coin. We can see that this coin has been weakly struck. It's not the best example in the world. If it was, it would be worth even more than the price that you have just thrown away, which is £1,250.
That's
a lot of money.
incredible.
Right, this is an early 20th century water jug in especially good condition. Apart from, and you all spotted it, the repaired handle. That repair is actually fascinating because look at it. It's stapled. It's an old form of repair, which when they were doing that was incredibly expensive. So whoever owned that little jug rated it, so it was probably valuable at the time. So you didn't go down that route, and I'm very disappointed, which means you have just given away the bottom lot. Well done!
That is good news because it means the £2,500 top lot is still in play. Teams, congratulations on getting this far. You now have one last chance to pick our experts' brains. Tom and Richard, which lot do you need to know more about?
I'd like to know more about the plaque, please.
This fine piece of art is indeed a portrait plaque dating back to 1840. Now, you almost got the title right. It's entitled A Little Shepherd Playing the Oboe at the Claudia Aqueduct on the Roman Campagna. Now, this lot was painted by the 19th century artist Leopold Pollack. So, Richard and Tom, should this little musical peasant boy play his way into your collection? You now have to work that one out.
And while you're doing that, Elizabeth and Philip, what would you like to know more about?
I'd like to know more about the jar, please.
This jar is a stunning piece of Maiolica pottery that would have been used by Apocriphes to prepare medicine. You all got the Maiolica connection. It would have been filled with water and herbs to create infusions with supposedly remedying properties. So it dates to the late 18th century and is in remarkably good condition, especially for a piece of Maiolica, which is infamous for its biscuit dry fragility. But do you think this medicine jar will breathe some life into your collection? That is the question.
Thank you, David. Well, now it's time for our final round, and at the end of it, we'll have our winners. In this round, I will show you a category and 12 possible answers. 9 are correct, 3 are not. Each of you will then take turns to choose an answer you think is correct. As it's the final round, both quizzers and pickers will play. Pick a wrong answer and your opponents will be able to steal a lot from your collection. And if all 9 correct answers are given, then the team who gives the final correct answer will be the winners. We'll play 3 questions in total, and the pair with the most valuable collection can choose to go first or second. So, David, who is that at the moment?
OK, Fern, I can reveal that the team who currently has the most valuable collection is... You may be surprised. It's Richard and Tom. With only 2.
Richard and Tom, your first question is... Pasta shapes. You're looking for the Italian words commonly used to describe types of pasta. Would you like to go first or second?
You want to go first? Who's go first on this one?
Yeah, we'll go first, please.
Go first? OK, here are the answers. Tom, give me an answer.
Let's go for tagliatelle.
Tagliatelle. If it's correct, it'll go green. Yes, it's correct, and they are the ribbon-shaped pastas, long ribbons. Philip, give me an answer.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Correct. Spaghetti means little strings. Richard.
Ravioli.
Ravioli. Correct. Those little square pillows of pasta with a filling. Elizabeth.
Vermicelli.
Vermicelli. Correct, which means little worms. Tom.
Let's try pappardelle.
Pappardelle or pappardelle. Correct. Flat pasta with a broad ribbon shape. Philip.
Bertolucci.
Bertolucci. Incorrect. Bertolucci is actually an Italian film director. Oh, let's have a look at the other wrong answers. Lipperini is a 19th century Italian painter, and Germanotta is Lady Gaga's actual surname. That's brilliant, isn't it? Tom and Richard, you can now steal from Philip and Elizabeth.
Do you want the plaque or the books?
Plaque.
Yeah, we'll have the plaque, please.
The plaque. That was the very first thing that Philip and Elizabeth put in their collection. I want you to feel guilty about that.
Sorry.
Okay?
Do, yes.
OK, here we go. Question number 2, and this is your question, Philip and Elizabeth. Here it is. Welsh islands. So which of these are real islands off the coast of Wales? Would you like to go first or second?
First.
First, let's have a look at the answers. Philip, give me an answer.
Anglesey.
Anglesey. Correct. By far the largest island of Wales. Tom.
That's tricky. Hopefully it's named after Rob Brydon, so I'm going to say Bryden Island.
Bryden Island? Oh, that was a trick.
No.
There is no such island. OK, let's have a look at the other wrong answers. There's no such thing as Eggsy Island, except Eggsy is part of a rap group called Goldie Looking Chain. You knew that. Burke Island is a fictional island from How to Train Your Dragon.
I know that.
Philip and Elizabeth, you can steal from Tom and Richard. What would you like?
I'd like to steal a jar, please.
The jar. Good. How the fortunes change in this game. Right, Tom and Richard, this is the final question, and it's your choice. It is characters in Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book. So we need you to find any of the named characters from Rudyard Kipling's original collection of stories known as The Jungle Book. Would you like to go first or second?
Will you go first again?
First again, yeah.
Yes, first, please.
First? OK, here are the answers. Tom, give me an answer.
Let's go with Shere Khan.
Shere Khan. Of course, the villainous tiger. Philip, give me an answer.
Arcala.
Arcala. Yes, leader of the wolf pack. Richard.
Baloo.
Baloo. Baloo the bare necessities. Elizabeth.
Mowgli.
Mowgli. The central character, the little human boy. Tom.
Let's try Bagheera.
Bagheera. He's the Black Panther who escaped from captivity. I think Baloo calls him old baggy pants, doesn't he? In the movie, anyway. Philip.
Car.
Car. Correct. Car the snake. Richard.
I'm going to go for Rafiki.
Rafiki. Oh, from The Lion King. He's the baboon, not The Jungle Book. I'm so sorry. Where are the other wrong answers? Asami was a member of the pop group called Neon Jungle. And Sapo is a rainforest in Liberia. So there we go. Well, Philip and Elizabeth, what are you going to steal from Tom and Richard?
The plaque, please.
The plaque. Get it back. That's what you want, isn't it? The plaque is coming to your collection now. That is it. Your collections are now complete and will determine which team is victorious. David, who are today's winners?
Fern, I can reveal that the pair with the most valuable collection and the winners of today's show are... It's Richard and Tom! I
That's amazing. Well, congratulations, gentlemen, and many commiserations to Philip and Elizabeth. You haven't created a valuable enough collection, but my goodness, you did well. David, what did you make of their collection?
Well, it's a big collection, Fern. So well done, you two. So well played. What are they worth? The books. They're very decorative. They're still current in the market. You could see them in a London stripped-out penthouse apartment just as pieces of art. They are gorgeous, but only worth £120. Now, the vanity kit. This 19th century vanity kit. This classy set comprises 6 containers, each made of faceted glass and topped with a silver-plated lid engraved with the interlocking initials AMW. Now, we don't know who AMW was, and bearing in mind these things are over 100 years old, it's not bad going. Now, what are they worth? £100, not much. Quite surprising. Now, what we have here is a Georgian 3-tiered card table dating, Richard, you got it from the latter half of the 18th century. Now, obviously, looking at it, you've all handled it. It has seen better days, as you can see from the scratching on the external surface, and it is in dire need of some really good beeswax. And I think an absolute bargain at only £450, but it's gone. Now, we move on to the jar. Everybody wanted it. It went backwards and forwards. It's late 18th century. It's got the look, it's got the condition, but it doesn't have a fantastic value. Not in today's market. Only £300. OK, now we talked about the plaque also. This is a particularly good thing. It's got quality, it's got rarity, it's got condition, and it's got a lovely, neat, small size. So anybody can house it. That picture there, if on the open market, would cause quite a stir. You all spotted it for being an absolute cracker. And Fern, you would have to pay today for that little plaque £600. So very well chosen.
So we all know what that means. Tom and Richard, you have the top lot worth £2,500. Well done. Very well spotted and hung on to. We're going to talk more about that in a minute, but for now, Philip and Elizabeth, we need to thank you so much for doing a really brilliant job today, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. And please send our love to Biscuit the puppy. Thank you so much for playing. For what it's worth. Thank you. Tom and Richard, so you've won the value of the clock. We know it's the top lot. We know it's worth £2,500. But can we tempt you to swap it for our mystery lot, which could be worth even more? Come and join me. Here you are, Tom and Richard. Here is your lot. As things stand, you know you've won its value in cash, and we know it's the top lot, and we know it's worth £2,500. But I wonder if we can tempt them with today's mystery lot. So, David, what have you got for them today?
Right, OK, guys, prepare yourselves. Are you ready for this? You have never seen anything like it.
Certainly not.
Very different to your chosen piece, but let me tell you a little about him. This interesting-looking chap is actually an incense burner. So when incense is lit inside him, scented smoke is released from his eyes and his nose. It's a good look. It's estimated to have come from Japan in the late 1800s and is made from wood and what we think is papier-mâché. But the question is, who is he? Well, we don't know for sure, but his red robe and emaciated state would suggest that he is a monk called Daruma. Because in Japanese mythology, Daruma is said to have achieved a state of nirvana through meditation that meant he didn't sleep or eat, hence his slightly withered state. So, what about the market for something like this, chaps? You've got to consider, well, some collectors will absolutely love him, others will absolutely not. But either way, it's fair to say he is extremely rare indeed, perhaps even a complete one-off, and I've certainly never seen anything like him before. But what do you think? That's the crucial question. What's it worth?
Initial reactions?
It certainly seems like a one-off, doesn't it?
I like him, but whether I can put a value on it that equates to the star item, I really don't know.
He's very intricate.
He is very well fashioned on the head. He is gorgeous.
If not grumpy.
He's quite ugly. The uglier the better, really. I'd go for the bird in the hand.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Stay with the clock. OK, so they're going to stick with the clock, which means that you have won its worth in cash. We know that's £2,500. But what have you thrown away in the mystery lot? David, tell them.
Oh, my gosh, guys, let me tell you what you have thrown away. You surely must have heard of the Oriental market. Here in the West, we've had a fascination with the Orient for hundreds of years. So the market for Chinese things has exploded. The Chinese are buying them back. But remember, where does this fellow come from?
Japan.
Japan. You, very fortunately, have just given away £1,000.
Tom and Richard, you are going home with £2,500. Does that feel good?
Yes, that's very good.
Yeah?
Thank you, David.
Well, thank you, David, for lending us all your knowledge and expertise, as always. Thank you for playing the game absolutely spot on. Brilliant. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time when more teams will be trying to spot the lot to win the lot on For What It's Worth. Goodbye for now. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well done.